Hi boys and girls, happy Wednesday. So today is a special day because you will be working on your Mother's Day crafts. I am not going to show them on here because Mother's Day isn't until Sunday. So make sure you ask your dad or your brother or sister or whoever you have around to help you with those crafts, so it's something special that you can give to your mom on Mother's Day. And so today what I'm going to read to you is Alligator Baby, another Robert Munsch book. Alligator Baby. One night, Kristen's mother woke up and yelled, a baby, I'm having a baby." Kristen's father jumped up, zoomed around the room, got dressed, and grabbed Kristen's mother by the hand. They ran downstairs to the car and drove off really fast. Vroom! Unfortunately, they got lost. They didn't go to the hospital. They went to the zoo. But it was okay. Kristen's mother had a lovely baby. Then they drove home and knocked on the front door. Bam, 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 bam. Kristen opened up the door, and there was her mother holding something all wrapped up. "Kristen," she said, "would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yeah," said Kristen. So Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket. She saw a long green tail and said, "That's not a people tail." Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a green claw, and said, "That's not a people claw." Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a green face with lots of teeth, and said, "That's not a people face. That's not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up and bit Kristen's mother on the nose and yelled, "Ah!" Then the baby reached up and bit her father on the nose and he yelled, "Ah!" "That's not a people baby," said Kristen. "That's an alligator baby." "Goodness," said her mother, "we've got the wrong baby." So Kristen pulled the alligator baby into the fish tank, and her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Bam, 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 bam. Kristen opened up the door, and her mother said, "Would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yes," said Kristen. Kristen lifted up the bottom of the blanket and saw a fishy tail and said, "That's not a people tail." Kristen lifted up the middle of the blanket and saw a flipper and said, "That's not a people flipper." Kristen lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a face with whiskers, and said, "That's not a people face. This is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Just then the baby reached up with its flipper and flapped her father's face. Whap, 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 whap. He yelled, "Ah! It's a seal baby. We've got the wrong baby." So Kristen put the seal baby in the bathtub. So her mother and father drove back to the zoo. They came back in an hour and knocked on the door. Bam, 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 bam. They said, "Kristen, would you like to see your new baby brother?" "Oh, yeah," said Kristen. So she lifted up the bottom of the blanket and she saw a very hairy leg and said, "That's not a people leg." She lifted up the middle of the blanket, saw a very hairy arm and said, "That's not a people arm." She lifted up the top of the blanket, saw a very hairy face and said, "That's not a people face. That is not my baby brother." "Now, Kristen," said her mother, "don't be jealous." Then the baby reached up with his feet and grabbed her mother's ear and her father's ear, and they both yelled, "Ah! It's a gorilla baby! We've got the wrong baby." "Let me do it," said Kristen. So her mother and father put the gorilla baby on the chandelier in the living room, and Kristen went off to the zoo with her bicycle. First, Kristen looked in the snake cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the wombat cage. No people babies. Then Kristen looked in the elephant cage. No people babies. Then she stopped and listened. From far away she heard, "Wah, wah, wah, wah." "That's more like it," said Kristen. She followed the sound. It was coming from the gorilla cage. Kristen looked at the mummy gorilla and said, "Give me my baby brother." The gorilla jumped away and wouldn't give the baby back at all. Then the people baby reached up and bit the gorilla on the nose, and the gorilla yelled, "Ah!" and handed the baby to Kristen. Kristen jumped on her bicycle and pedaled home. Kristen knocked on the door. Bam, 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 bam. When her parents opened it, she said, "Would you like to see your new baby?" Kristen's mother lifted up the bottom of the blanket and said, "Look, people legs." She lifted up the middle of the blanket and said, "Look, people hands." She lifted up the top of the blanket and said, "Look, a people face." Kristen's mother picked up the baby and gave it a big hug. Her father took the baby and gave it a big hug. Then her mother said, Kristen, you've got the baby back. Good for you." "But what are we going to do with all these other babies?" yelled Kristen's father. "There's a seal baby in the bathtub, an alligator baby in the fish tank, and a gorilla baby hanging from the chandelier. We should take them back to the zoo." But Kristen looked out the window and said, "I don't think we'll have to do anything at all." All their mommies came back to get their babies. And everything was okay until Kristen's mother had twins. The end. So I hope you enjoyed that read aloud, boys and girls. I thought it was a good one to go along with the Mother's Day craft that you'll be doing today. And I hope you enjoy your Mother's Day craft, and I would love to see them come next week after Mother's Day, of course. So I hope you have a great Wednesday, and make sure your Mother's Day crafts are kept secret.